Let's go! This is the media circus with your host Taisha Bradley. Got virtual and live events to browse, pitch, and repeat so gladly. And she got that online subscription for publicity leads. One thing that's safe to say is she got what you need. As seen in Forms of Journey and in shout out ATL. The media circus, grooving and we doing well. We want you to do better, that's why we here. Show you how to browse, pitch, repeat, let's get it clear.
Yeah, there is. Left arm, forearm. Some sort of scripture. All right, I'm on my way.
All due respect, sir. Can't let a man like Marcus Knight slip through our fingers.
You just sit your ass there. Sit tight. I'm calling for backup now.
So you trying to tell me Shorty done caught your ass up. They done tied you up. And they hit you up. And you know what? They're my type of bitches. We're there.
Man, fuck y'all!
Honey, you just have to be a little patient, okay?
Tracy, look, I've been patient. I need my time.
I know you have, Brian. Look, this will be the last time. I promise.
I need my time.
I know, Brian. I got a sneak peek.
Ace? You okay?
Tired. Head hurts.
We gave you your pills this morning. You shouldn't be hurting.
Ain't no lie. Head hurt here.
Okay, I know. I didn't mean that you were lying.
He's in the woods, I'm telling you that.
Look, take my card. You call me. Call me if you see anything or hear anything. Do not try to handle this on your own. You have an understanding?
Yeah, officer.
Detective, you two have a nice day.
School again. You mind if I head out early for Noah?
It is Friday. And I don't see a lot that needs to be done around here. You go on ahead. And I'll lock up the place.
Yes. All right. Welcome to the Media Circus podcast. Welcome or welcome back if you're part of our audience. I want to thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the greatest podcast on earth, where we explore the stories of extraordinary individuals shaping the media world around us. I'm your hostess, Taisha Bradley, and today we're joined by the multi-talented Therron Dumas. Therron's journey from Navy veteran to award-winning actor, writer, director, and producer is nothing short of inspiring. With over 50 plus films to his name and a Presidential Life Achievement Award, his impact on the entertainment industry is undeniable. But Therron's story is more than accolades. From Newark, New Jersey to international acclaim, he's a testament to passion and perseverance. Tune in as we uncover and undiscover the secrets behind his success and what aspiring filmmakers can learn from his experience. And the self-proclaimed most hated villain on YouTube. We're going to talk about that next. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. So as we were coming into the podcast, we watched one of your sizzle reel trailers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, definitely. Awesome. And I hear your birds in the background. I thought our trailer was still playing, but it's the beautiful birds where you are. Tell us where you're logging in from.
I am in the Atlanta, Georgia area now. So I've been down here about 6 years.
Yes. And so we were just chatting, and you are originally from Newark. Can you kind of take us back a little bit to, being from Newark and how that brought you to kind of like where you are today?
Wow. Newark, yeah, Brick City. So it was rough. It's hard. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. It was rough growing up, but I kind of put myself in that position because um everybody wasn't in the same predicament I was in per se. Like most of my friends, you know, was the whole I hate to use the word hood, but urban situation.
Right.
One parent, didn't have a whole lot going on. But on the flip side, with me, it was just me, my mother, and my grandmother. But I realized when I went home like a couple of years ago, I grew up in a 7-bedroom house with 3 bathrooms, 2 kitchens. My mother worked for the government since she was 18, and my grandmother owned her own beauty salon. So,
Wow.
but being a kid, I didn't realize all that. But all my friends weren't in that situation. So, I still unfortunately did what most urban kids did. I didn't have
Right.
to, but I wouldn't have had any friends. It was like so. I did without incriminating myself. I did some stuff, but
Right. Right.
but
Yeah,
the
we're
you
kind
know
of
the
products
the
of our environment, even
right
regardless of what
right.
the
So
backgrounds are.
the root was there. So I still finished school and everything. So when I decided that the street life wasn't really for me because the street life isn't for you when still not incriminating myself when you're doing certain things and the
Sure.
people who purchase certain things for you from you tell you that you're not like everybody else and you
Not built for
need
this.
to stop. Like, wow, okay. And then so I decided to go to the Navy. So I ended up being in the Navy about 3 years and 8 months, but I hurt my knee during Desert Storm. So ended up getting processed out, came home, worked couple of regular jobs for a while, and then I decided to take the family and move to Delaware. So we moved to Delaware. Was there for 17 years. So I done went from working at PetSmart to in-home daycare to owning a child care center. And in between those years, around 2011, is when I got into the acting thing that I didn't want to get into. It was like
Right.
when people say they fell into something,
Hmm.
literally one day I
Right.
was watching my daughter getting submitted for modeling, and next thing you know, I'm on set being assassin for Terrence Howard in the movie, and it went from there. I've been grinding ever since 2011, so we going on 13 years and 60 films now.
Wow. So you went from stage dad to being on stage dad.
Exactly.
Nice. So tell our audience what your professional media title is. Because one of the things that I try to teach my audience on the Media Circus podcast and also myself, that in media and entertainment, there's so many different titles and they mean so many different things. So can you tell us like the professional titles that you hold and kind of what those mean as far as what you do under those titles?
Okay, well, actor, of course. I just really got behind the camera maybe 2 years ago. So you figure maybe 6 months after I started writing for it's actually a series that I'm in, and we actually got picked up by Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and a couple of other streaming networks. And that's the one where we started winning our awards. I believe we're 8-time multi-international award-winning show. So the accolades came with me being a director for the show and the actor in the show. So I'm multi-international all three now. So thank God. But I don't know my title. I still say actor, but I mean it's actor, director, writer, vocalist, and I think that's it. But yeah, I just call myself an actor unless it's really asked of me. I just say I dabble in acting a little bit.
Right. Okay, so tell me, one of those titles that you have is director. Can you explain to us kind of like what you do in a directorial capacity? What does that mean for you?
Okay. I think I'm a pretty good director because I am an actor. A lot of directors haven't been actors, so their eye for things may be different from someone who's actually acting, or like I'm still acting. So I can kind of feel, you know, for the actor. So I kind of got an eye of, okay, if I was doing this, it would feel more comfortable doing it this way. So I try to make it as easy as possible for the actors. Even when I'm writing, I call myself a word nerd, so I'm pretty good because a lot of people think they can write for everybody, and you can't. Like if you ever receive the script and you're reading it and you're practicing it, and it sounds artificial if you say it the way it's written. So I usually ask, look, if I can still convey the thought that you want, can I say it this way? So I'm pretty good at writing for the majority of people for the comfortability, unless they have like a speech impediment or something. But I always send it out and ask them, are you comfortable with the dialogue? Can you say everything concurrently and things like that?
Mhm. Okay. What is a director's job for people who don't know exactly? So, there are lots of different people on like movies, films, and
Mhm.
everything. So you have like your directors, your producers, your
Mhm.
executive producers, your talent
Mhm.
agents. What's a director's
Right.
job?
Literally, what it says, you control the direction of the film, of each scene. If it's
Mhm.
supposed to be a high energy scene and it's not, it's your job to get that out of them. It's like you may cut, and I tell people, like, if they don't sound like they need to, I
Mhm.
tell them I don't believe you. Like I don't
Right.
believe what you're saying to me. You're not making me believe that you're that character.
Right. And that's why a
So
director is called cut.
right,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I've been sitting there and I'm like, I can't, and it was like cut,
Cut.
and then I pull them to the
Everybody's like,
side.
oh.
Yeah, right. And I'll pull them to the side because I don't like that, the bravado and embarrassing people and all that,
Sure.
because it's unnecessary. One, you put a bad air on set, and it's like now it's hard for them to even get back in the character because now they aggravated. So I tell them, look, boom, this is what you need to do, especially if it's like an emotional scene. I tell them, I'm like, think of somebody you may have lost and try to, bring that into it. Try to think of them ahead of time so you almost right there. So by the time it's time for you to get to that point, it's easier.
Nice. And so you, through Nasavari Entertainment, you also provide script writing services as well. Can you explain to
Yes,
our
ma'am.
audience, what a writer does as far as in like media and film?
Okay. Now with that aspect of it, I believe I have four that I'm about to be working on. And basically what you're doing is you're usually taking someone's story or usually their book, and you're turning, because they usually have characters in the book. So now what you're doing is you're turning the book into a script that can be seen on film. So now you might have Michael and such talking, in long form in the book, but now you have to create dialogue between the two. And with not just that, you have to have interesting stuff in the middle of it as well, because now you don't want to ever just go by the book, because if that's the case, go by the book. So you have to have a storyline that's keeping up with the book, but you have to have inserts and your other stuff going on that keeps it interesting.
Right, right. Okay, nice. And so up on the screen, if you are watching with us on YouTube, then you're able to see some visuals. If you're just listening in, doing the audio experience, and you want to see what we're talking about or watch some of the videos that we're talking about, head over to Media Circus Publicity on YouTube and watch the visual version. So I have a screen up of a couple of your films. Tell us a little bit about each of these films and where we can find them. And then I want to talk some about TV streaming, because a lot of my guests lately have been, kind of in the TV realm, thanks to, these streaming services that we have more control over. So tell us a little bit about the films that we're seeing up here.
So the one I had the least airplay in was Out on a Limb. I actually did that for a friend of mine. So I don't even believe I talked in that one. That one was a quick cameo. I put somebody in the headlock and handed my man Trey Chaney from The Wire and Saints and Sinners. I handed him a machete so he can cut the guy's fingers off. But people still saw me. It's like, as soon as I saw that arm, I knew that was you. I'm like, really?
I knew it was you.
I'm like, so my arm, look, my arms. I said, all right. But yeah, you see me quickly in that one. But yeah, I did that one for a friend of mine. So, but
Nice.
Under His Control, that's the one that got me. I think I'm still holding the title of number 2 most hated, because that one is based off a true story, and it's
Wow.
I was psychologically abusive on that one, but I still was a piece of work, and that was my first lead role. So I'm in it from credit to credit. I mean,
Nice.
Probably 10 seconds after the movie start, I'm already acting a fool and whatnot. So yeah, that's the one.
Where's Under His
Most
Control
women do
streaming?
not like that. Streaming on Tubi, Amazon Prime. Those are the 2 most popular. Tubi, they dragging me, because any of those Tubi Tubi group chats where they talk about movies,
Yeah, I'm
and
in
they put that
those.
movie. Man, look, I got people that come to my real job, because they know I act too, and
Yes.
guys will come up and look and be like, hold on, and will literally call their girlfriend on FaceTime and aim the phone towards me, and they be like, that's him right
Is
there.
this the one?
I don't know if I want to punch him. I don't know if I want to punch him in the face for doing it, or punch her in the face for letting him do it to her. So yeah, that one, that was I want to say it was a fun role, but it was real emotional, because the young lady whose story it is, she was there while we was filming it.
Oh, wow.
So it's like she was looking at it from the outside looking in now, and reliving it. So there was a lot of scenes where we had to cut for a while. Like it was a scene where I threw her kids out. They were teenagers, and I threw the clothes over their head and whatnot while they was going out the door. And so when we cut,
Yeah.
the young lady who was playing my wife, Money Sutton, I was waiting for. I'm like, what's taking her so long to turn around? They called cut. She was crying for real. Then I turned around, and the young lady whose story it is, she had broke down in the corner, and it looked like the cameraman and everything. They got their eyes all stretched open. So I was like, well,
Right.
I must
You
have
need to
did my
take
part.
15.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so that
But,
means your acting must be so convincing for people to feel like you are those characters and still have like that animosity for your face and your arm in real life. What is that like?
I mean, I got to get used to it. I tell people I'm snap finger famous. They be like, damn, I know dude face from somewhere. Because
Somewhere.
I was in the supermarket, and you can tell the couple was talking about me by the way the guy approached me. And he was like, he just walked up to me. He's like, hey, bro. He was like, what movie are you in? And I'm like, huh? And his wife was like, didn't I tell you that man wasn't in there? I was like, Under His Control is the one that's trending right now. Then I just rattled off like 4 or 5. And she was like, you serious? I was like, yeah, I'm serious. And he just looked at her and rolled his eyes and walked off. I was like, you got it tonight, bro. So, but it's funny, but yeah, I guess.
Wow. So tell us about Premeditated Murder, because that is streaming right now before limited time. So we want to let you know early in this podcast so that as soon as you hop off, you hop on and catch this.
Right.
Tell us about Premeditated Murder.
Right. Premeditated Murder, we filmed that Indianapolis, Indiana. So I'm playing the role of Michael. Um, well, you figure out of the 60 movies I've done, probably 54 of them, I'm the villain. So I'm the villain in this one again. So
Typecast.
basically, right. Well, I mean, you know what? I can't say that because I'm not the same villain. I'm a
Okay.
crooked, crooked FBI, crooked attorney. So I'm different roles. But
Right.
9 times out of 10, when you see my face, it's like, okay,
He's gonna be
what
the
he about to
bad guy.
do? So with premeditated murder, I'm one of those guys that even though we divorced, you gonna always be mine type deal.
Mm.
So, so I end up going to jail for abuse and murder and assault, supposedly for life. But I end up escaping, and basically it's not sweet after that. I don't want to tell everybody the movie,
Right.
but
Don't tell him
it's
too
it's,
much.
it's only airing until tomorrow night because of some technical stuff in the background. So watch it this weekend. I mean, it'll be back, but it's gonna have to go probably through a whole nother 60 to 90-day process to come back. So
Yeah.
y'all
And we
got
don't
it
want to
now.
wait that long. So I'm gonna go ahead and release this episode early today so that everybody can catch it, and then we can hop in the
Yes,
Tubi chat on Facebook and talk about it. Because
right.
trust
Thank
me,
you.
I'm in there.
Right. I want to hear the people who tear movies apart. I want to hear their reviews. I don't like the people who support me. Thank you. But I need the ones that don't know me like that and really go in like on Under His Control. They was talking about my phone. I said, really? Out this whole almost 2 hour movie because I have a
Did you
I
have a flip
still got my
phone?
Note 9. I ain't worried about it. No, I had my Note 9, but I had it's a battery case on it, and the battery case was like maybe an inch thick. So they was like, "What he got the TV remote?" In it? So it was like a whole 600 comments about them joking about
The
my
phone.
phone. Somebody said I had Windows 7 in my hand. Somebody said it was a garage remote. I was like, really? The whole movie y'all gonna talk about my phone?
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So what role does social media play in promoting like independent content, especially content that's on Tubi? And then how can other creators kind of use that to drive traffic to their shows and movies?
Oh, it's big. That's big. Social media, as long as you're not putting a bunch of foolishness up there, that's your ticket to pushing it out there. But I tell people though, just because you have 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, that don't mean you have that many supporters. There's a difference
Mm-hmm.
because you can have 5,000 people that follow you, but if you post something, you only got 100 people that click like on it. So you got a lot of watchers, but it's business because, like I said, you're still going to see it whether you support it or not. So eyes on it. There may be somebody standing behind you. You may not support it, but they'll be like, what movie is that? And they'll support it. So yeah, social media is big business. Like you're not, like I said, you're not just putting crazy stuff up there. You really promoting your business. Oh, absolutely. It's a big boom from TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I mean, there's other ones, but them the three I use.
Right, the main ones. So what role do like the reviews and ratings that you get for your shows play on Tubi? Like how can people make movies and films, support independent films so that they rank higher on Tubi? Like how does that work?
Giving your honest opinion. I mean, really, because a lot of people took Tubi as a joke for a long time because some of the movies aren't the greatest, but
Yeah,
you have to think Tubi, I believe, surpassed Netflix now in popularity because of the pandemic. Once people couldn't move, and it was like, man, let me put this on to see what's up here. Then found out
right.
that there was a lot of great independent movies, and you can watch the
Yeah.
old school stuff too. And it's like hold on. So now, now that we back, moving and shaking, but Tubi, don't think about it. Tubi got popular when Fox bought it. Now Fox wasn't paying it no mind. Wasn't nobody paying it any mind really, but for Fox to buy it, that's telling you Fox been
Right.
around
Yeah. That's
before
major
a lot of
media
people was
network.
born. So for them to jump on it, it's going absolutely. Mhm.
I will have to say I was one of the Tubi naysayers at first, just because you just go to it and you just look through a couple things, you'd be like, oh, I'll check this out. Some of it isn't the best
Right,
quality or the best
right,
production, and it could cause you to kind of give up on it. But I think that I'd read on
right.
actually Tubi's website, I was doing some research that millennials are all over
Mhm,
Tubi, and that they have a
mhm.
desire for more independent films. And so that's where I
Right,
think that
right,
millennial subset of groups started making the Facebook groups and the chats and taking the
right,
time and
right,
watching movies and then reviewing really good ones. All right, this is a really good one. You guys should check it out. This is a really
right,
good one. And then people just kind of jumped onto that and they take those recommendations all right, this is one of the ones to watch. And then they kind of go down this rabbit
right.
hole and they learn how to discover, new things and things that they really like
Absolutely.
on Tubi. So Tubi has turned into that girl because I'll spend a whole Saturday night on
You can
Tubi.
watch movies all day. And the fact that they keep it going whether you watching it or not. And it's like you'll come across a movie just for the fact you put on something and you may have I done fell asleep and I woke up and something else was on that was good. And I'm like, damn, you gotta pause it to try to
Right.
get the name of it and whatnot to make
Yeah.
sure you come back to it. But even the movies that aren't that great, they should use that to improve themselves. It's like, okay, like it's been movies I saw here where the girl done shot the guy in the back of the head. It was no flash and no sound, but he still fell forward. So of course, next time, whoever's looking at the film, let's make sure we got a flash and
Yeah.
some sound to the gunshot. And
But
somebody hit somebody in the head with
sometimes those make the real viral movies because a lot of times I'm laughing and I'm not supposed to be. It's supposed to
yeah,
be something serious, but then then the acting is over dramatic and it's funny, and I mean that's still
yeah.
entertaining. That's still
It,
entertaining.
it,
Those
it is.
are little clips that we still put in the group. Check this out.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was the part where a girl hit somebody. She either hit him in the head with a bat or a bottle, and she literally placed it on his head. He fell all out and whatnot. I'm like,
So
who
that's funny.
directed that? Now, come on.
That's funny to me. If I can laugh, it is still so
Right,
much, entertainment.
right.
All right. So, what trends are you noticing in the type of content that performs well on streaming TV these days?
Urban, urban is, and the crazy part is the movies that we're trying to do now. I'm trying to step away from urban a little bit because I want to. I just got to see, because we have one that I just completed writing called Organs, but we spelling it with a Z. Now this one is about a young Caucasian doctor who's married to a young black woman, but she has kidney disease, so she needs two kidneys. So with all his money and all his power, he still can't get on that donor list. So she's fading fast, and so is his psyche. So he's really starting to lose it. And without telling the whole movie, he basically starts finding other young black women and ends up being a serial killer trying to cut out organs and match them to his wives and stuff like that. But we about to start filming that probably in a couple of weeks.
Wow, that sounds wild. All right, so are you a villain? Are
Yeah,
you in that? And then are you a villain?
I'm a detective in that. I'm trying to
Okay.
help,
On
bring
the
him
other
to
side of the
justice.
law.
Exactly.
How
And
do
I'm
you
a
think
good
your audience
detective
would
this
take
time.
that for you normally being a
I think
villain to being on the other side of this?
I think they'll take it well because I'm like I said, I'm not always the villain. The first lead actor award I won was for playing mentally disabled. I'm like, All this destruction I done caused on these films, I play mentally disabled, which I didn't do a lot of talking. It was more facial expressions. I would talk off and on, but it was more of a demeanor. And I just happened to be taking care of somebody with Down syndrome at the time. So I knew all the little nuances about looking past and not really making eye contact and the fingers that's always moving. And somebody literally wrote that short for me because they said his name was Carlos Roman. And he said he was so tired of seeing me play the bad guy and he know I could do something else. He wrote that just for me. I did not want to do it because as much as I film, I'm shy. I don't like people looking at me. I'm not all grinny and giggly. And I had to do everything the opposite. So we filmed it in a park. So everybody looking at me. I'm acting mentally disabled. So I got to be grinny and goofy and giggly. And that's all against what I do. But I did it and ended up winning a Best Actor award. Keith David from Greenleaf had hit me on Twitter when back when I did it. He was like, "You killed that role." Somebody from Tyler Perry Camp was like, "You did that." I was like, "Y'all really like that?" I said, "All right."
Wow. So your career has caused you to kind of stretch yourself and giving you a range.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Nice. And we saw a clip of that in that sizzle reel that we watched at the very beginning. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely noticed that. Awesome. Well, we're about halfway through, so we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more. And I'm going to ask you some fun kind of questions. All right. So you guys just hang tight and we will be right back.
Looking to show some love for the Media Circus podcast with Taisha Bradley, celebrity publicist? Here's how. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. Leave a review and share your media wins for a chance to be featured on the show. And by subscribing to Media Circus publicity leads on Patreon, you can support the podcast and get instant access to publicity opportunities for TV, magazines, major blogs, podcasts, and even red carpet events. So what are you waiting for? Show your support for Taisha Bradley and the Media Circus podcast today.
Are you ready for something bigger? Have you tried marketing and you've spent all the advertising dollars, all the marketing strategies, all the social media strategies, and you are still struggling to stand out among the crowd? I would like to introduce you to PR, public relations, publicity. It goes by many names, but it's basically using the media to share your messages, to share your vision, to bring in more customers, more clients. You can use media and publicity to catapult your brand to the very top. What I'm doing is I'm taking out the middleman and taking out the pitches and introducing my clients directly to the media. So if you want to skip advertising, skip the social media ads, skip the word of mouth, and get directly onto podcasts, onto television shows, onto blogs, to being featured all over the United States and even further, you definitely want to give PR, pitching, and media a try. So if you're ready to stop playing small and to tell your story and see your name in the headlines, work with me today. You can visit my website, www.taishabradley.com. All right, we're back from the break. That was quick. I want to talk about Tubi a little bit more, if that's okay with you, because it's the thing. I'm fascinated with it. So lots of the people who listen to my podcast, they want to hear from people in the media because they want tips on, number one, how to tell a great story, and number two, how to get into publicity. So first, in your opinion, what are the elements that make like a good story?
Let me see. I'm gonna say, look, beginning, middle, and end. No,
I talk about the hero's journey a lot. Do you ever use that?
I have. Like it depends. See, it's what type of story are you trying to bring? Like, is it a love story? Is it like you said, a hero's journey? Is it an adventure? And then you just you do it piece by piece, because I didn't set out with the movie Organs. I didn't set out for it to be a thriller horror, because I just set out, okay, we got a guy who, a doctor who loves his wife and she's sick, and you know, it started out as a love story because he's trying to find a way to get her kidneys, and then I don't know, I just went left with it, and it was like, well, you know what? What if he start killing people trying to take their kidneys, and then he ended up being a serial killer. So my mind just went a whole nother direction with it, but it came together pretty well because it's like you feel for him because he doesn't really want to do it, because it's even a kill scene where a homeless guy is describing what he saw, and he was like, the guy almost looked like he was crying when he was, he still killed her, but it almost looked like he was crying, and I heard him mumble, "This is the only way I can help her." So it's like you may feel for the villain, I guess, because he really loves his wife and he doesn't want to lose her, but you're sacrificing other people's lives to save your wife, because he's literally apologizing and almost breaking down and double thinking it as he's the first victim. And yeah, but I feel as though you need to just write it out, like not the actual script, but just write out exactly what you want from beginning, middle, and end, how you want it to start. Because I'm literally about to start writing with another young lady that same thing. We're at that point now. She's just sending me different stuff to where we're going to come up with the dialogue in between it. But she's rattling it off, getting it in. Actually, three young ladies that I'm working on. So I have my my own talent agent, and then I have two other writers that we're collaborating to get these movies out.
Nice, nice.
Oh yeah,
So,
I remember that.
when pitching stories to media, people need to be able to articulate, kind of what the story is. If you have a news about your business or your brand, or a story that you want to share about a client, a product, or an announcement, there is a specific way that you can tell a story, to kind of get people engaged, hooked right at the beginning and engaged and bring
Right,
them through that story process. So I think with,
right,
pitching media, and if you have a brand, explaining what your brand is and taking people on a quick journey through a story is one of the most effective ways to get people to remember you, because you can tell someone some
absolutely.
information and they may remember some of it or not. But if you tell somebody a good story, they're going to remember that thing word for word, and they're going to tell
Oh,
somebody else the whole story just like they were there, right? So we
right,
know, how powerful storytelling is. And I just tell people, if you can learn how to master that, and that could be in your own way, everyone has
right,
a story to tell,
right.
and everyone loves a good story, is what I like to say.
Absolutely.
So we talk about
I,
that a
I
lot.
tell mhm. I tell people that as well. Like as quickly as you can, try to get some type of clips of something you did, because like I've done quite a bit. But even let's say I run into Tyler Perry right now, and he's like, I heard you're an actor. What have you done? Nobody's gonna sit there while I sit there and try to run off 60 movies, because after around the fourth one you lose an interest. So I tell
Right,
people can watch stuff and it'll stay more interesting than read. Like you got a resume that's 3 pages long, or you have two or three video clips with 5 or 6 movies under each one. That way they can see what you can do, because maybe he envisions you as a character in his movie. You may have even touched on that character in one of your clips, or he'll see that maybe that character won't work, but you killed this character. So I tell him, I was like, get your footage as soon as you can, and that's one of the things that people need to have when they, because I got footage like 2 years later. I'm like, that's not
yeah,
even me on the screen no more, but it's mine, so I want it. But yeah, I
right,
try to make it point for people to be able to get their footage, because that's especially for independent, if you're not getting paid, because most
yeah,
independents you don't,
hmm,
because they let you actually act. Because I tell people, it sounds great when you're naming all these big budget movies that you're in, but
sure,
if you're not acting in them, it's kind of null and void. So I always say I would take a good quality independent film and rather be the lead, the co-star, supporting in that because it actually gives you time to work on your craft. You're
Right.
acting. You're not just
Right.
standing there and I'm in this movie though. No,
So it's okay to be
act.
a
That's
big
what
fish
you
in a small pond.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm I told people there's like you trying to get that fame and fortune. I was like, no, fame kind of messes people up. And plus, like I said, I'm shy. I don't like all that in my face stuff. But I take the fortune. I can manage fortune.
Right.
I,
We
I
can
don't
do something with that.
have to win no Oscar, nothing like that. I can always be that same dude. Like, damn, I know his face was what. That's fine. Because guess what? I can still go eat. I can still go shop. I can still go anywhere I want and do what I want. Like my cousin is Quentin Aaron. He's the one that played Big Mike in The Blind Side. He can't do nothing. Well, especially when we were younger, when the movie was more popular, we had a family reunion. We go up to get our plates of food, and as we going back to the table, somebody recognized him. So now, you can't be rude. So he goes over, he takes a picture. Now the whole, the whole family taking the picture. Now the whole restaurant realizes who he is. He steady taking pictures. I'm like, I held up the peace sign and went and sat down. I'm about to go eat my food. But we're in a movie together with Vivica Fox. It's called Jason's Letter, and it's me, him, Vivica Fox, Brian Hooks. It's a lot. Look, I was like the lowest on the totem pole in the movie. I play Uncle Mike in the movie, but same thing. I went and picked him up from the hotel, so it was him and I cannot Robert Lasardo. He's the Mexican guy with the bald head with the tattoos everywhere. So he's been in every movie since like the SVU. He may still be on. So them between him because he had the big movie and Robert Lasardo because of his track record. So I went and picked them up. We get in the elevator, so I get in. Nobody care about me. So my cousin gets in. So now you see people looking and tapping each other and whatnot, trying to figure out is it him. And then as the elevator door closing, Robert sticks his arm in the elevator door. He gets on. So we in the elevator. Well, not me, but all these stars that they see in the elevator. And I'm like, I get it one day, but yeah, no, I can't. I don't need the fame. I see what the fame is like. You can't. It's good for certain instances. It's like you can't move. You can't really be yourself. You can't have an argument with nobody. Let's say I want to argue with somebody because they said something slick. I'm still normal, but if he do it, he all over the TV. Oh, Quentin Aaron from The Blind Side is rude and da 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 da. So yeah.
Right. And I pulled up Jason's Letter because listen, I watch a lot of TV. So if anybody else wants to know, Jason's Letter is streaming free on Plex.
Yeah, it's on Plex, it's on Tubi. Yeah, I think it's on YouTube now. It's on all of it.
Auntie Vivica in there, so you definitely have to check that out.
A lot of people, Bow-Legged Lou and Paul Anthony from Full Force, Brian Hooks from Eve, one of the guys from I forget that mobster TV show that used to come on HBO back in the day, and the lead character he passed away. The Sopranos. One of the guys from The Sopranos, and it's a lot of people in there. Yeah.
Wow. So how can entrepreneurs use like streaming TV, like Tubi, Amazon, Plex, to build their personal brands and expand their reach beyond traditional media? Are there opportunities for like advertising or product placement in independent films?
Absolutely.
People who don't want to be on camera, but we want to jump in on this and use the power and reach of streaming TV to get our messages out there. Like, what could we do?
Well, the crazy part is, good thing about independent, you have more accessibility to the actors and directors on independent film. Like with me, like our show, we do it. Like if you want, I might wear your T-shirt during one of the scenes. We have a series that we're working on where it's like a apocalyptic thing. Like my business partner, he does tea. So like during the show, that may be the tea we drinking that's keeping us from turning into zombies. We not even realizing that the tea is what's keeping us from transitioning. So it's usually just, you talk to, you reach out. Like, hey, matter of fact, I got somebody in my inbox now that she got to give me a 3X though. I'm a big boy. So, but I'll wear her, I'll wear a shirt,
I'm gonna have to
sometime
get
during,
y'all some Media
yeah.
Circus teas.
There you
Shout
go,
out to
yeah.
my girl Artisan Bling Boutique for creating this for me.
Put that on, or
So people
it
can
may
wear
be a
like clothing.
anything. Yeah, I may be drinking out the cup to make sure that the camera catches it, drinking and hold it right here and say a few lines, and you'll see the media circus on the cup. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
So if
that's
someone were to
especially
want, especially independent. So if somebody were want to reach out to you, say via email, and they have a product or a brand and they want some placement for, like, what would you be looking for in that email?
just tell me what it is. That's all. Let me know what it has to be something that I can actually move, or my actors can actually move, because like I can't, you want to sell lawnmowers and whatnot, but if it ain't a scene
Don't
that I'm
make
cutting
sense.
grass or something, it's not gonna work. Yeah. So long as it makes sense, yeah, it's no big deal. Like I said, I mean, I'm looking to help people. That's actually how I ended up receiving the presidential accommodation award. I didn't realize I helped over 100 people either get in shows or put them in a position where it, excelled their career. I was like, really? It's like, first of all, who watching me? That's my thing. Like,
Yeah.
who's sitting up here counting like that's number 98 right there? I'm like, I said, okay. I said, all right. But yeah, no, I try to make stuff as easy as possible for people, because I know how it was. Like, I started like in 2011. It's way easier now if you know how to
Yeah.
do it versus back then. Because back then I had to hustle to get roles. I had to go in people
Right.
inbox and lie and tell them I done saw they previous movies and this and that. I'm a big fan, and I had to hustle to get them movies. But once I got on the roll, it still worked though. I mean, because I went in somebody inbox the other day, but I got a whole lot more to offer now. But I went in somebody
Right.
inbox and was like, hey, I just looked at one of your movies on Tubi. I'd love to work with you, now or in the near future. If you feel as though, you got something that I may be a fit for, let me know. It's just that now my resume is, okay now, so I can, show up and show out when I need to.
Let me give you a little pitch tip that I get from journalists, right? So they say that everybody who pitches them always say, like, I read your article, I watched your movie, I saw your show, right? And they don't buy it unless you say something specific about it.
And I
Like,
used
I
to.
watched this
I used
movie
to.
and I think it was crazy when this part, blah, 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 blah. That let me
Yeah.
know that, you know what I mean? They want more, because everybody says that same thing.
Oh,
I just read your article.
absolutely.
I love your work. And sometimes, right, it won't even be the right article. Or sometimes it'll be like from 6 years ago and they don't even do that anymore. So now we got to go a little bit deeper.
Right. Because see, when I was doing it, it worked because it was early on. And see, and I'm like I said, I'm a little smarter than the average bear. So if they had 5 or 6 movies, I go back to like they second or third one, and I'd read about it. I see what it was about and this and that. So when I approach them, and I'd be like, I've been following you since such and such, and it's like, oh damn, he really has been following. I heard about you 5 minutes ago, really, but I still would like to work with you because I see your body of work.
Those are the formalities. Right. I love that with technology, people are being connected and you can get to learn people's real personalities. And a lot of times you don't even have to go through all that pomp and circumstance anymore,
Yeah, not now.
Right.
No, it's like, that was my little pattern. I said, all right, read about them, flatter them, request to work with them. And
Sure.
9 times out of 10, I had people write me in their movies when it was already done. Because if I can get you to watch me, I pretty much got you. Because that's what I
Right.
said. When you get your footage, like I had one little scene I did from one movie. It was like 30 seconds long. When I tell you I beat that scene to death, sending it to people, but
Right.
you saw the action, and
Hmm.
a lot of people gave me a chance, and I kept in contact with a lot of the people who gave me chances when I first started. One of my friends, his name is Mark Dixon. We actually got started around the same time with the acting, but he started, filming and producing as well. And when I left the DMV to go, to come down here to the ATL area, he said he watched me for about a year. He's like, man, if T can do it, I can do it. He left and went to Miami. Went down there. Now he's a successful real estate mogul, has his own production company, and he done contacted me here recently because he wants to film one of my movies, on the strength of our relationship and get it put out there. So I tell people relationships
Hmm.
in this business are so important
Yes.
because everything shouldn't cost. You shouldn't charge everybody for everything. Everything shouldn't cost. We've done a whole series with over 70 characters, and they've done it for me on the strength of our relationship. Now, once we start getting money for it, it's no
Hmm.
big deal. I'm gonna put it in your hand just
Sure.
because you did it for me, for free, all
Right.
this time. But I let them know, even with the movie Organs, they're doing it because of our relationship. But I'm telling you, y'all are the catalyst because I'm picking the best of the best, in my opinion, for this movie. Because once this gets up, y'all are the ones who's creating revenue to get it going. So y'all gonna be the first one that gets taken care of. So
Yeah.
we got to
Right.
do it.
Yeah. We can tell that's evident again back to Tubi because there's so many actors with different movies on Tubi,
Mhm.
right? And so when you watch one, it'll
Right,
recommend another one with like the same person in it. And I'm like,
right,
okay, it
right.
looks like, people are getting work, people are working together, with that. So definitely we can see how relationships work with that because it's getting people more
Yes,
play.
yes,
And so, as far as
absolutely.
relationships, you mentioned, doing the Miami thing. I want to put this out there, and this is the first time I'm putting it out there since we're going to go ahead and release this early anyway. I'm just going to put it out there. Media Circus is coming to Miami in October to do a press day. So I have a major client in the South Florida area. So I'm in and out of South Florida, the Miami area, Fort Lauderdale. And when I tell you I love it and the business collaboration and the networking, A1.
Yes,
A1.
yes.
So listen, if y'all in that Miami area, y'all got something going on, loop me in.
I got
I love it there and I'm
absolutely.
ready to work. Listen,
Congratulations.
that was a pitch, y'all. So y'all think pitching is hard, but pitching is not hard. That was a
Right,
pitch.
exactly. That's what they say. That's like shooting your shot. You just do it. Just go
That's what
ahead
pitching
and do it.
is, just shooting your shot, knowing what you want and
Right.
asking for it and putting it out there. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about Atlanta's 2.0 and 2.1
Okay.
series that's been acclaimed for its direction and storytelling. It has been picked up by Amazon Prime TV, Apple TV, and more. It is a
Hmm.
multi-international award-winning series. Tell us about Atlanta's Ugly
Yes.
2.0.
Okay. Well, I came on season 7 as a character. So I reached out to we're actually business partners now. Reality is his, not his government name, but that's his, his moniker on the show. So I reached out to him, inquiring about being on the show. So, if y'all got Android phones or Apple phones, you can see when they read it. So I saw he read it, and I said, all right, cool. So 1 week go past, 2 weeks go past. I'm like, now I know he done read it. I'm like, why he ain't hit me back yet? So when he, feeling some type of way. So when he finally hit me back and we were talking, I was like, what took you so long to hit me back. And he was like, man, he's like, I never worked with nobody like you. I'm like, huh? He was like, you see your resume? And I'm like, I'm like, it was flattering because I'm like, huh? Because I look at I'm a regular person, but he was like, nah. He's like, I'm used to dealing with, street people or beginners and whatnot. He was like, I never worked with them. I was like, man, I'm trying to make it just like you are. So I ended up doing one scene. It was like a jail scene, and I rode with him. So he was, bringing me back home, and he was like, so what you think? And I was like, you want my honest opinion, or you want my opinion because you don't put me in the show now? I was like, those two different answers. He was like, I want your honest opinion. I was like, you need to script it, and because he'd acquired all these followers and everything over the years, because he's been doing it 7 years before I even came aboard. So this man has been organizing it, filming it, editing it, and putting it out on his own all this time. So when I got there and he was like, asked me why do I think he needed to script it, I was like, remember in the jail scene where I did my lines and then I laid back on the cot and the other two actors kept going back and forth because they were trying to outact each other. So what I did was I told him, I was like, so when they do that and it's supposed to be a 2-minute scene, I was like, what do you do? He said, I go home and I edit it. I said, for what? I said, if it's scripted and you put a period, that means this. There's nothing else to say after the period. So what he let me do is he let me script my own scene. So I did a scene where I picked the best of who he had and I scripted it out. And when we put it out, they said that was one of the best episodes of the series.
Wow.
And then we sat down and talked. And he was like, so, you trying to be a writer? I'm like, absolutely. And that's my first foray behind the camera. I'm like, I ain't no writer, but, I'm a word nerd, and I've lived life. So I have I'm a Pisces. So I'm a creative naturally. And, I have an and I have, imagination. So we started writing. We actually had to put the show on a hiatus because they were so used to filming every day because it was improv. But when we started writing, we had to stop the show. You know what I'm saying? So the show was stopped for like a good 3-4 months. They were scared we stopped the show. But I was like, nah. And then I started bringing in, I don't like to use the word real actors and actresses. We'll just say more experienced. Okay. So I started bringing in more experienced actors and actresses. And, now it wasn't just about, the street and the drug dealing and all that. Now we brought in law enforcement. Now we brought in government. Now there's more side stories and backstories now. And, we 2 years, well, that's why we turned into Atlanta's Ugly 2.0 and 2.1. 2.0 is the denotation of when the old stopped and the script started. So that's why I tell people it's a difference. It's a difference between season 1 and season 7 and then 2.0 going forward. So yeah, we started winning the awards from 2.0 going forward. Yeah, because now, like I said, it's scripted. So the storyline is easier to follow because when you're coming off the top of the head, it's like you almost got to come up with a topic right off the cuff.
Because storytelling
it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Right. So now they can follow it. And it's like my character, I can pop, like I haven't been in the last 4 episodes, but I'm not affiliated with anybody. My character is like a lone wolf. So I can pop in and pop out because I had to concentrate on writing our first movie. So I haven't been on, but it's like 4 episodes left. So I'm gonna come back and cause some havoc before the season is over. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch, especially 2.0 going forward. People who are used to it being scripted, 2.0 going forward, absolutely.
Next level. Very nice. Thank you. I'll be watching that also.
Thank you.
So I know that you have a publicist, and that's how I got connected with you. So I know that you've done, lots of media interviews, radio. You were actually on one of my podcast guests, Butterby Rocka's on her podcast. She was one of my guests. She is so amazing. I can't wait to get to Atlanta so I can meet her in person.
Yep, I have my
Oh, we back.
Yeah, I interviewed with her on the 30th of this month.
Okay, so you talked to her again. Awesome. What are some major media interviews or press or features that you've been featured in that you could tell us about?
Ooh, you done hit me with one. I gotta go to my phone.
To the archives.
Well, yeah. Yours, let me see. My man G Holla.
Yeah, I know
Of
G
course,
Holla, old school. Yeah, I've known him about him for a long time. Yeah.
Of course, my own talent manager, Ego Entertainment. So I've done the radio, I've done the television. Who else? Because I if I can't remember it, charge it to my head, not my heart, because it's all been coming. It's all been coming so fast since I signed with Ego Entertainment. So everything has been like a whirlwind. So it's like, okay, I don't want to name the wrong one.
Right, but media begins media. When you start to do interviews, then they start to come more naturally, more frequently. That's why I tell people, I'm like, once you get started, it's a little hard kind of getting started. But, once people see that you have interviewed, you've been on something, they can see how you are and that, you're not new to it, then you'll get more and more opportunities that it kind of builds up.
Right.
So as it's building up, which is what you're doing, what are some media outlets that you would like to be on, like magazines, TVs, anything? Where would you see yourself?
I mean, I try to stay humble. Anybody who will have me as a guest, I will humbly do it. So I really have I don't want to say any aspirations to be on anything particular. Like I said, I'm just happy and humble to be where I'm at and continue excelling. So anybody who's interested in having me up there, I'll be there. As long as I'm not on set.
As long as you're not on set. I understand that so much. Can you please let us know, my audience know, and me know, if there is anything that you need, that you're sourcing for, any kind of pitches that you're looking for, any kind of product placement, like how can we get in, and help ourselves, and how can we also help you?
I mean, if you want to do product placement, like I said, you can reach out to my talent manager, Lady J at Ego Entertainment. She'll get the message to me, and I mean, without us running and gunning, I'm sorry, it's a train coming, and guerrilla filming like we've been doing. If there's anybody who has reasonable sets out there that we can use to film, but other than that, we just try to get it as we go.
Nice. And so you will be looking for sets and resources that are in the Atlanta area.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Very nice. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the Media Circus podcast. This was so great to talk to you. I mean, it was great to have a guest that, that you do so many different things, so we could talk about, the acting, the writing, the directing, the placement, kind of movies, TV, all those things. So this is very exciting. So now I got to go through my Tubi and search your name so I can make sure I watch all of those. Definitely make sure that we watch Premeditated Murder today or tomorrow. Make sure that we catch it before it goes down from the platform, but it will be back up.
Absolutely. Eventually, right.
Eventually. Listen, we'll be there waiting, and we'll be over in the Tubi group to discuss it, like that we will.
Right. That's what I need. It's a Tubi group. That's what I need to hear about it.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the Media Circus podcast. We really appreciate your time. You guys, make sure that you go down to the show notes to get Therron's information, to get Lady J's information, if you want to send any kind of pitches. And so again, we're signing off.
All right. See you later.
Yeah.
Let's go! This is the Media Circus with your host Taisha Bradley. Got virtual and live events to browse, pitch, and repeat so gladly. And she got that online subscription for publicity leads. One thing that's safe to say is she got what you